Hi friends, and welcome back to Gardening Suburbia. My name is Amanda and I'm a homesteader here in Zone 6 in Cincinnati, Ohio. And today we've got the most exciting type of mail. We've got seed mail. And today I've got 3 orders. I ordered from one company that I have not ordered from before in the past. And then 2 others that I've made quite a few orders from. And I'm just really excited to get into this year's seeds and really start planning the garden for 2025. This year I ordered from MIgardener, I ordered from Botanical Interests, and then I ordered from Johnny's Seeds. So 2 of those companies are really good for small scale backyard gardeners. So that's going to be Botanical Interest and MIgardener. MIgardener has seeds at $2 a pack, which is really affordable. And then Botanical Interest, they're not expensive seeds. They do have a lot of really wonderful varieties. And then Johnny's Seeds is more geared towards large scale farms and the likes. So you can get a really large quantity of seed. But they did have some offerings of seeds that I really wanted to try out, as well as a new gadget that I've been looking at for like the past year or 2. And I finally went ahead and I splurged. So let's go ahead and get into this seed haul and see what kind of goodies we have planned out for this coming year. The first one I'm gonna go with is my MIgardener seed haul. Just gonna get these guys out. I don't think that they're in order simply because I went ahead and used these in a photo shoot today. They got tossed in the air. So I think they're all out of sorts. MIgardener gives you a little blank seed pack so that you can go ahead and save the seeds from any of the plants that you plant during the year. And I think that's really cool. So I'll go ahead and put that in a stash somewhere. Most companies will give you a free seed packet with whatever purchase you make. If you go and hit certain price points. I know with Baker Creek, it's like you can get a couple of different packs of free seeds. And Baker Creek is really good about switching up the varieties so that you get something different. I know that MIgardener and I think Botanical Interest do like salad bowl mixes, which is what I think that this is. Yeah, complimentary salad bowl mix. So that's really nice. It's always good to have some salad seeds on hand. So this year I'm super excited. We've got some spring rapini broccoli rabi, and this is just a looser head of broccoli. It has a lot of little smaller shoots of broccoli, and this is something that me and my boyfriend have been devouring with a lot of our meals just because it is so good. Even taking the stalk and slicing it nice and thin and sauteing it with some butter and then steaming it, super delicious. So this is something that I'll be starting for spring. And then we have some Alma paprika pepper, which I use paprika in my taco seasoning that I make, which I will be posting a reel for that recipe here shortly. And then also with my chili. So I'm hoping that I can go ahead and actually grow these peppers, dry them, and then make them into a paprika powder. And if I'm not mistaken, this is the only pepper plant that I purchased. There may be one other. So this year I really wanted to dial in on having some nice staple red tomatoes. I grew a lot of different varieties last year. My stepsister rants and raves about San Marzano. This is an Italian variety. So I did get 2 packs of this guy. It is the undisputed king of paste tomatoes, which, beautiful, love that. Expect high production up to the first frost. Flavor is acidic, making it great for canning tomato paste, pizza sauce, pasta sauce, and even fresh eating in salads. So super excited about this. And most definitely will be sharing some of these with my stepsister since she loves them too. I did get a few fun beans because I love soups, and having some beans on hand really helps flavor the soup. So I've seen these everywhere. These are the Calypso bush bean. Beans can either be bush or pull, Bush just means that those beans are going to grow to a set height. Those beans are going to be set on that plant all at once, and then you just harvest everything and then the plant's done. Pole beans are a little bit different. They'll just continue growing, and as the plant grows and vines, you'll get more beans. So it's kind of, you're going to be harvesting throughout the season rather than at one go. So these are exciting. Also known as the Orca or Yin Yang bean, it is a eye-catching heirloom variety prized for its striking black and white pattern resembling an orca whale. This compact bushy plant matures in about 70 to 90 days. It produces abundant pods filled with small round beans, known for their creamy texture and mild nutty flavor. Excellent for soups, stews, and salads. So super excited about those guys. The next one is the pinto bush bean, which they don't really look like your typical pinto bean. They kind of have a pink tinge to them. It is a popular heirloom variety known for a distinctive speckled appearance and robust flavor. These beans grow on compact bushy plants, and the pods are filled with medium-sized beans that have a creamy texture and a slightly nutty taste, making them ideal for refried beans, soups, and stews. Perfect for home gardeners. So one more bean to add to the pile. And then I have yet to find a good sugar snap pea that I like to eat the pod on, which is why I got this one. These are the sugar snap peas. It's the go-to choice for everyone who loves a productive, sweet, and crisp pea. Produces small, cute pods that are delicious and able to be in raw, cooked pods or peas. And then great early spring crop to grow since sugar snap peas are extremely cold hardy and have reported being able to have snow on them without being negatively affected. So that's super cool. So I'm excited to try those as well. And then we've got some lemon mint, which this is a perennial. Mint is super invasive, so if you are going to be planting mint in your garden, do be wary to plant it either in a spot that you don't mind if it takes over or in a container. Even still, with it being in a container, it can kind of cascade out of your container and take root. So just keep an eye on your mint plants. I love mint, and I thought that this flower on this particular variety was really, really pretty. It's not a true mint, and this variety is a dramatic addition to the herb garden. Clustered flowers of purple bloom to attract pollinators as they release a heavenly scent. Crush the leaves of this variety to release their bright lemony scent, and they can be used raw, dried, or cooked for seasoning in any recipe. So I'm gonna go ahead and make sure that gets a pot in my garden. Then we just got some bull's blood beets. I've yet to grow beets successfully. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it another go this year. I really want to grow these and then dry them and make it into a beet powder. There is a smoothie that I used to make at my my high school job as a blender, a smoothie blender. And what was it called? It was called Just Beat It, like the Michael Jackson song. And it had beets in it, and it was so delicious. It had peanut butter, beets. I think it had spinach. There were some other things in there, but it was so good. So I had to ask my stepmom, she was the owner, for the recipe. So I want to go ahead and get some powdered beet on my shelf. All right, if we continue on to the pile, I've found these guys on MIgardener's website, the long pie pumpkin, and I just thought that they were really unique looking. And it's literally just a little pie pumpkin. It's a cross between a butternut squash and pie pumpkin, yielding an incredible elongated pie pumpkin that can grow 14 to 16 inches long and weigh about 8 to 10 pounds each. The vines will produce 5 to 7 fruits each, and the flavor is deep, sweet, and very string-free. That's nice. So this should make a good addition for pumpkin pies for next Thanksgiving. which I always bring the pies. And then continuing on with more red tomatoes, I got the Sheboygan tomato. Honestly, I thought that the name in itself was fun. Plus, it looks like a nice red paste tomato. It is indeterminate, and it was first grown in Wisconsin by a Lithuanian immigrant in the 1900s, and the variety has become a favorite paste tomato for generations. Its medium fruits have the perfect balance between sweet and acidity, ideal for sauces, but also delish. It's also delish when fresh eaten. So I don't know if I mentioned, indeterminate is just basically that these guys will keep growing for as long as the season, pests, and disease allow them to, or until you decide you're done with tomatoes and you rip them out of your garden. So they'll just keep setting fruit, while determinate tomatoes will only grow a certain amount of tomatoes throughout the season and be done. These ones will continue to grow. So got some Sheboygan tomatoes to add into the red tomatoes. And then I have been wanting to add more and more spaces of flowers into my garden, whether that is in my front yard or back in the backyard. Last year I planted a bunch of wildflower seeds. This year I'm going to go ahead and do the same. I think I am actually going to throw these guys. Sometimes when you do wildflower mixes for whatever zone you're in, they need cold stratification. So basically a good period of time to be cold. And that can either be done by planting them outside before the cold, or you can put the seeds directly into a fridge or a freezer to kind of mimic winter. Poppies tend to need that cold to really have good germination. But this is saying that I can go ahead and actually direct sow in early spring because I am zone 6. It'd be late fall for zones 8 through 10. So this is a mix of perennial seeds, and it has bachelor buttons, coneflowers, daisies, black-eyed Susans, and other annual and perennial seeds. So poppies were on the front. Looks like there might be some calendula. Yeah, super pretty. So we want more wildflowers in the garden. So continuing on with the red tomatoes, I got the Napoli tomato. This looks like another paste tomato. This one is determinate. The Napoli tomato variety is a true gem among tomatoes, renowned for its exceptional taste and versatility. These deep red plum-shaped tomatoes boast a rich and tangy flavor, making them ideal for creating flavorful sauces and purees. With their thick, meaty texture and low seed count, they are perfect for cooking down into a velvety consistency. Napoli tomatoes are top choice for making classic Italian pasta sauces and are also great for canning and preserving. So I think that this is going to be extremely, I'm going to love having this in my garden because I have been trying to hone in my tomato sauce recipe, but because every season is so different, it kind of gets swayed. So we're going to go ahead and get a good tomato season for this year. And then this is the last bean. I got a Christmas lima bean. This is a pole variety, so the one that just continues to grow and grow and grow. It is an heirloom variety priced for its striking appearance and rich flavor. These large flat beans are dotted with maroon and white, resembling festive holiday patterns. The vigorous vines produce abundant pods filled with flavorful beans that have a chestnut-like taste. Versatile in the kitchen, perfect for soups, stews, and salads. They retain their shape and color when cooked, adding visual appeal to the dishes. The variety is also valued for its high protein content and nutritional benefits. So I'm going to have a good variety of some dried beans to add into some soups and stews this next winter, which I'm super excited about. All right, so this year has really been going to be a lot about learning how to grow cut flowers for me in my garden. So I wanted to go ahead and pick up a few varieties that I have not grown yet, and kind of get some more experience with that. So we've got some celosia. This is the pom-poms plume. Pom-pas plume. Sounds like French, but it's not. So this one is an eye-catching feathery plumes of bright scarlet, lemon yellow, cream, pink, and orange, and are a stunning addition to the garden. Flower heads are quick to bloom and will continue to grow with size until they are harvested. Pick at your size preference before they go to seed. Thrives in hot, dry conditions, and each plant will grow anywhere between 32 and 48 inches, producing 10 to 24 stems apiece. Wow, that's a lot. Okay, and you can use it fresh or dried. Happy to have that in the garden. So this is one that I have grown before successfully. I definitely need to be adding some flower netting into my garden this year so that I get straighter stems, because this guy really does like to flop. And this also does need cold stratification. So I will be putting this into my freezer until I need to go ahead and plant it. The last time I started this guy, I started them inside. So we will cold stratify for anywhere between 2 to 4 weeks. So I will just keep this in my freezer or fridge until I'm ready to plant. And this needs 6 to 8 weeks before the last frost to have a good start. But these guys have beautiful little bells. They're light green. Underneath of the bells or the flower, there are spikes that are quite pokey. So if you do end up growing this variety, I would keep that in mind. I think most florists go ahead and actually remove the spikes that are underneath of those blooms before they put them into arrangements. But that's something I had no idea until I got poked by one. And then we've got a single straw flower. This is Silvery Rose. I really enjoyed growing this. I think it was not last year, but 2 years ago now. It wasn't this exact variety, but straw flower, the blooms themselves, the petals, are of a papery consistency, so they have a really unique sound. I'll see if I can find like an ASMR video that I have on my phone of me touching the blooms from that garden and put it in the corner on this. But these guys are great for dried arrangements or for fresh cut flower arrangements. They have really strong stems, and the flower heads that can grow up to 2 inches across. This is a creamy white with silvery pink tips and is the epitome of vintage. So I'm excited for this. I think that this, when building arrangements for cut flowers, having like a actual textural difference between your flowers helps to make having a textural difference between your flowers and your arrangement helps to kind of elevate that vase. So some straw flowers. Then I've got 2 different types of asters. I've got an apricot, which is a delicate peach tone, perfect addition to a spring bouquet. This king-sized variety grows taller than others at 34 to 40 inches tall, with blooms that reach 2 to 3 inches each. Each plant will grow up to 12 stems apiece, and the elegance of peonies and mums without the hard work. It has all the elegance of peonies and mums without the hard work. So excited about this. This is another one that is a 6 to 8 week start before your last frost. Then we've got the Valkyrie mix of the asters, which I believe these are more of like a sharp petal. Yeah, a needle petaled blossom sit atop long sturdy stems at 3 to 6 inches, or the blooms are 3 to 6 inches. The branching growing pattern makes the Valkyrie aster easy to harvest. So it's another fun one. And then the last of the MIgardener haul is all onions. In my area, I need long day or intermediate onions. I would just go ahead and Google what type of onions you need for your area if you are or if you don't know. So I've got the Southport White Globe onion. This is a long day, a small intermediate day, white pickling, large bunching onion, measuring about 2 inches in diameter, a sweet, crisp onion with a good shelf life when cured correctly. So, excited about those guys. These I might have gotten stepped on. These I grew last year and I really, really enjoyed these. They made perfect addition into a lot of different meals. So the Zimbrune is a long day shallot, and it's a mix between garlic and onion. They provide a delicious mild flavor with much more sugar than onions or garlic, and the shallots are able to be grown in many soil conditions in many climates, and they can be overwintered in the soil to be harvested the following year. It has multiple smaller shallots similar to how garlic grows, or grown by seed and harvested the first year, much like an onion. Ooh, so I think I actually do have 2 or 3 of these onions that I just left in the soil in my garden, which is now covered in snow. So we'll see if those guys bunched and made smaller onions. I'm excited about that. So we'll have to take a look in there, in the garden next year, and see if those guys came back. And then I've got a red Weathersfield onion. This is also a long day. Red Weathersfield onion put Weathersfield, Connecticut on the map in 1834. This impressive dark red onion with unmatched flavor was the main export of the area. Its flattened purple globes and pungent flesh make this variety a fast favorite. Extremely rare and sought after in the culinary world, this variety is a delicious addition to salads, canning, and fresh eating. This is the beautiful thing about growing your own food in your backyard, is that you get to pick what varieties you plant that you then get to eat and enjoy or preserve for later. And you sometimes get varieties that apparently are sought after in the culinary world, and you'll just have them somewhere in your kitchen. So I got 2 packets of the Pompeii onion. I believe that these were a smaller variety. So this is a long day. This mini onion is perfect for bunching or cooking as a pearl variety, cultivated from a short day onion to grow in a long day zone to produce small pearl onions. Grows in very uniform shapes, perfect for pickling. So that is why I got 2 packets, because they are pearl onions. They're going to be tiny little guys. Yeah, 2 to 3 inches wide. Oh, I guess it's not too bad. Not too small either. So got 2 of those guys. And then we got the red long of Tropea onion. This is a Mediterranean specialty variety, is sought out for its fantastic flavor and used as a bunching and fresh onion. Not for storage, this is a rare type of onion suited to 40 degrees and higher latitudes for pearl and cipollini onions. For small to medium onions at lower latitudes, the elongated purple bulbs and color to add color to any dish. I just wanted to make sure that I got all types of onions this year. Got some reds, some whites, and some yellows. So you got the Utah Yellow Sweet Spanish. This is a long day. These sweet, mild onion bulbs can grow to weigh up to a pound or more. Yellow Sweet Spanish Utah is a fair storage onion, moderate pink root tolerance, great variety for the West Coast. Use them for soups, stews, and even stir fries. So there are the onions. These guys actually will need to get some plantings of pretty darn soon. We are about 13 weeks out from my last estimated frost, and most of these need to be started 8 to 10 weeks. So we are getting very, very close to needing to plant these guys. All right, the next batch of seeds we're going to go through are Botanical Interests, which always come in this beautiful little box that keeps it nice and so the seeds don't get squished during transit. They typically send a seed starting guide to help in kind of understanding the directions that are given on each seed packet. Botanical Interest does a beautiful job of filling their seed packets with the most information. So not only will you find information on the back of the seed, but if you open up the entire seed packet, here, let me grab one. Oh. I've been collecting empty seed packets for years now, so that I can do something cool with them. Another one. Let's do this one. So this is an old Botanical Interest seed packet. If I go ahead and just cut it open. So you got information on the back, information on the front, then you open it up and you've got more information on the inside. This is going to give you the scientific name, where it is native to, the hardiness, how big the plant's gonna get, some more information about how it likes to best grow, how to best grow it. A lot of times they will put in a recipe as well as how to harvest, and any other information that they can to fill out the space, as well as give you the best idea of how that plant is going to grow. So we go to our plants. Like I had previously said, Botanical Interest typically gives out a thank you seed packet. Typically it's lettuce, so it's a muskellin mix. This has a lot of different types of seeds in them. It's never bad to have extra lettuce seeds. So a majority of my Botanical Interest seeds are going to be cut flowers. And a lot of these I've not grown before. So some of these I just picked out because they looked so beautiful. So this is Linaria. Seems to have blooms that are very similar to snapdragons, except they have this little extra point at the end. This is the Fairy Bouquet. It is a charming blend of bright colored, dainty 3 1/4 inch flowers. Above delicate, airy foliage, Linaria makes an impressive, colorful show when planted in mass, and it is also an excellent container filler or border flower that attracts pollinators, also known as toadflax, and often called a mini snapdragon. There you go, because of the resemblance. Cut flowers make darling bouquets, a 1934 All-American Selections winner. And it says it is deer resistant, which is beautiful because most of my backyard is woods and there is always a little tribe of deer walking around back there. So I'm super excited to fill my garden with flowers. Again, we got another flower similar to the snapdragon and similar to the Linaria. This is the Penstemon.
So close. It's the Penstemon.
I have no idea if I said that correctly. But this is the Rocky Mountain Blue. It looks gorgeous. I'm super excited. This says it's a perennial. We'll see what zone. Zone 4 to 9. So this is going to be perennial in my area, which is awesome. It is a long-lived heirloom Penstemon. Rocky Mountain Blue enhances the garden all year. Its exquisite blue-violet flower spikes attract pollinators and bloom for about a month in early summer, followed by satiny brown teardrop seed pods. In winter, the plant's evergreen basal rosettes turn from green to reddish purple. An easy to grow, very hardy and drought tolerant choice for both wildflower plantings and formal garden borders. So this is exciting. All of my flower varieties I will have to go through and make sure that they're not they won't need cold stratification. Those that will, I'll pop in the freezer or fridge until they need planted. I will be also posting a video on how I organize myself to make sure that I'm planting things when I need to get them planted, as well as the cold stratification process. Oh look, we got another tomato. So we got the Oxheart tomato pole. Beautiful. It is so named because of its shape. It is also known as pear of Liguria, after the northern Italian region where it has long been celebrated. The heirloom is dense with few seeds, cooks down to a robust thick sauce, and really shines when roasted. It is also star sliced fresh atop salad greens or paired with mozzarella and fresh basil leaves. That's cool. Because of its little ridges, it makes a star when it's sliced. So I missed another red tomato for the garden. And then we've got the Jack B. Little pumpkins. This is a decorative with paint or glitter or pretty accents, or to be filled with your favorite stuffing, casserole, soup, or custard for a fun appetizer. These tiny, delicious pumpkins are 3 to 4 inches across and 2 inches tall, compact vines, about 3 to 5 feet long, and grows 6 to 10 fruits on each plant. Can be grown in a large container or trellis to grow vertically. That'd be cool. When growing in containers, use one that is at least 5 gallons and 18 inches deep, and only 1 plant per container. So, cute little baby pumpkins to either be used as decorations or to hollow out and then stuff with something delicious. Then we've got pansies, got the blues. I really wanted to get these simply because I wanted to grow plants that I would be putting in containers on my front porch instead of having to purchase them. Now, that doesn't mean that I still won't be purchasing plants from places, because I love to go to a greenhouse and shop around whether I get something or not. But I thought that these colors were really beautiful. I'm not typically a huge pansy person, although last year I grew, I think it was called the devil pansy, maybe. Anyway, it was a dark purple, pretty much black pansy, and it was beautiful. But these guys, I love the color on these guys. So I am excited to have these. These are perennials in my zone, 6 to 10. It's a custom mix of pansies designed to brighten the garden with delightful shades of light and dark blues. Provides a beautiful color for the spring and fall garden, blooming prolifically when warm weather flowers have faded. Flowers are edible. So I already have a ton of pansies in my garden, a couple different varieties, but I am excited to have these in there too. And then I've never grown strawberries from seed. I've always bought starts, and I thought this year I would go ahead and just buy the seed pack and start them. So this is the red and yellow Wonder Blend of strawberries. Their homegrown alpine strawberries are bushels above store-bought, whose flavor can't compare. Wonder Blend bears small red or light yellow, intensely fragrant fruits from late spring to early summer. Taking a break on hot weather, plants don't have runners, so they won't meander, making them a tidy, delicious border or container contender. If started indoors, you can expect fruit the first year, replace every 3 years for best production, or add a few new plants annually. Perennial in zones 5 through 9, and this sows up to 16 feet. So I will need to start this this week, because this needs 14 to 16 weeks before your average last frost. And light aids in germination. So this will be surface sowed, so the seeds can still be seen, because some plants need light on the seeds for them to grow. This I am so excited for, and I can't even begin to tell you why. So this is Eucalyptus Silver Drop. Not only is this going to make a beautiful addition into some bouquets, but this would also be incredible to be added into like a bundle or bushel and tied to like the shower head in your shower, and it kind of helps to open up your sinuses. So this is a multi-branch stem filled with frosty green rounded leaves with the unmistakable menthol-like fragrance of eucalyptus, and is wondrous on tabletop arrangements and bouquets, fresh or dried. Eucalyptus is widely used in aromatherapy, pot potpourri, crafts, and a pest deterrent in the garden. It is a perennial in zones 9 through 11. As an annual, the plant reaches 18 to 42 inches, but in areas where it is a hardy perennial, it can become it can become a 30-foot tall tree over time. Drought tolerant once established. So it is not a perennial in my area. So this is something that I'm going to be growing as an annual. I'm still super excited about having this in the garden. So this is something that I actually purchased for my stepmother. We will typically go to the greenhouse and pick out plants around Mother's Day for her. And she always ends up buying some of these. So I thought this year I'd go ahead and try growing them myself. So this is Coleus. It is an excellent house plant that will add color to those dreary winter days. In the garden, its white, bronze, gold, copper, yellow, pink, red, and purple foliage will brighten up shady areas that typically are hard to grow flowers in. It's also great for containers and planters. And it is a perennial in zones 11 and warmer. So not mine, but that is okay. So I'm excited to have these to add some color into my garden, but also to gift to her. And then this is Status, the Russian variety. It has a unique, unusual growth habit, and the rosy color of its Asian wildflower adds a welcome contrast in the landscape. It makes a long-lasting cut flower that has been loved in European markets for years and is now occasionally found at local farmer markets, but now you can enjoy it too. Its sweet nectar lures in the butterflies. Its roots are sensitive to disturbance, so to use biodegradable pots. I personally do not like biodegradable pots, but we'll see what happens. This is also one that light aids in germination. So it feels like it has some pretty tiny seeds, but I'm excited about that. It's very pretty. This was on my must grow list this year, last year, maybe 2 years ago. This is lupine, and this is the Russell blend. This 1937 selection from England contains an array of colors on tall spikes that are quite dramatic when planted in mass and in groups in a mixed border. A short-lived perennial in zones 4 to 7, Russell lupines are developed to be grown as annuals in warmer climates, so everyone can enjoy its statuesque beauty and attracts butterflies. It is deer resistant. And then this one needs scarification to grow, so basically just either soaking the seeds before planting or nicking one of the edges so that the roots or the main root, taproot, can take hold. But it has a lot of beautiful colors, so I'm super excited about these guys. Next we have grass bunny tails, and I thought these just looked really fun and fluffy, and again added a nice little textural element to the garden. So the bunny tails form an upright fountain of charming fluffy flower heads as soft as an actual bunny tail. Easy to grow and great for the cutting garden. Excellent anywhere you need a touch of whimsy and texture. Very drought tolerant once established. Dried foliage is attractive in winter. So another fun one to try out. And then we have bachelor's buttons. I grew, I think it was the like bluish purple variety my first year. These ones are the Black Magic. I thought this was a beautiful color. It is great for dried or cut flowers. While edible petals make a stunning garnish, bachelor's button, also called cornflower, will naturalize itself sows for another crop of flowers the following season, and the birds love the seed heads. Attracts pollinators and beneficial insects. So it's another fun one. And then we've got, these guys have very similar colors. This is the Scabiosa pincushion flower and the Black Knight. This guy is almost black and equally at home in formal and cottage gardens. Scabiosa blooms for an exceptionally long time, is fairly drought tolerant, and is very attractive to bees and butterflies. Long stems are great for fresh cut flowers. Dried seed heads also add interest to flower arrangements. A top-notch garden cultivator since the 1600s, so quite a while, and when it was known as the Black Moor's Beauty or Mournful Widow, usually grown as an annual, although perennial in zones 10 and warmer. So not a perennial in my area, but that is okay. Go ahead and still give this guy a try because it is just so beautiful. And then we have some ornamental wheat, the black tip, which this one is actually an MIgardener variety. Got mixed up. I've never grown wheat. I'm not going to be growing this to use for flour or for milling into flour, but I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. So black tip wheat is used to add a special element to cut flower arrangements. Its name suggests this cultivator grows as normal wheat does and has dark, almost black coloring to the top of each seed pod. Easy to grow and reaches 24 to 36 inches in height. So again, another fun little textural addition to a flower arrangement. And we've got some foxglove, which I have tried many times over to plant. It may come up in one of my wild seed gardens that I've planted. So this is excellent as a cut flower. It's a very sturdy variety that has flowers larger and wider than most foxglove varieties. As a biennial, it produces foliage the first year and flowers the second year. But it also self-sows readily, making it great for naturalized areas, performs best in part shade, attracts pollinators and hummingbirds, biennial in zones 4 to 8. And then it wants you to know that it is toxic if you ingest it, any part of the plant. But it's very pretty, lots of pretty colors. And then we've got some cosmos, which I love cosmos. I don't think I have any red cosmos, so picked up some red. This is the Rabenza. Deeply colored 3-inch blooms are boisterous in contrast when paired with white flowers and silver foliage plants. A Floral Select Novelty Award winner. These cosmos are a real standout in the garden or a vase, and butterflies love them. Blooms start out red wine colored and turn to dusky rose as they age. Growing cosmos is an easy way to add color to your garden as they require little attention and are drought tolerant. I would agree that cosmos are very simple. They go to seed very easily, so you can save seeds from them quite easily, as well as they make a really good addition into some, you could pop them into a mason jar and just have them in there pretty enough as is. And then the last thing I have from Botanical Interest is the hyacinth moon bean, or the hyacinth ruby moon bean. So the local farm that I go to pick up extra tomatoes and eggs and whatnot, they have this covering one of their barns, and it is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. So I wanted to put this somewhere in my garden. It is grown by it was grown by Thomas Jefferson at Monticello. Hyacinth bean is a dazzling ornamental with stunning pinkish purple flowers and shiny dark purple pods that stand out against the purple and green foliage. Twining stems quickly climb a fence or trellis, trail across the ground for an attractive ground cover, or spill over container edges, fairly drought tolerant once established, grown as an annual, although perennial in zones 10 and warmer. And then this is not recommended for eating as it contains toxins. All right, so there's one final box, and that is the one from Johnny's Seeds. So this is an exciting box, to say the least. So we've got some seeds, and we've got a fun new tool that I can't wait to show you or talk to you guys about. So let's just go ahead and start with the tool, since you guys can already see it. So this is a soil blocker, and I've got the smallest size. That was my cat. So I got the smallest size that they had available, and it was on sale, which is what prompted me to get it. So very tiny. I believe this is like a 1/2 inch square, and it leaves a little tiny divot that allows a little tiny divot that you can go ahead and pop your seed in. I figured I could get the smallest size since I do own Bootstrap Farmers seed starting trays. I can get the smallest size, get seed started in a smaller space, and then up pot into my Bootstrap Farmer trays. So I'm super excited about using this. I've never used one of these before. So if you guys have any tips or tricks on how to use this, I would be more than happy to take them. So it's beautiful, it's lovely, and I can't wait to use it. So from Johnny's, we also got a couple of different seeds. Now, I will be posting pictures of these guys, what the flowers or plants look like in the corner. So you can go ahead and see them, because that is the only thing that Johnny's does not do, just because they are geared more towards a commercial setting. They don't waste their time on putting pictures on them. So this is another eucalyptus variety. It is a small leafed gum eucalyptus. They even give you a germination rate, the date that it was tested. It is a tender perennial. So it is perennial for zones 9 through 11. Can be grown as a perennial in areas that receive no frost. It is snowing outside right now, so I definitely have frost. It is excellent for cut or dried flower foliage, accent in beds, and excellent container plants. So very, very excited for eucalyptus. This will be the first year that I've tried to grow eucalyptus. So we together will see how that goes. And then we've got some blue glitter Eurygenium. I don't know if that's how you pronounce that. I'm sorry if I butchered that. It is a perennial. Germination rate of 87%. It was tested on the same day. So this is a sea holly. It's perennial in zones 3 to 8, so that'd be my zone. It's an excellent cut flower or dried flower for mid-border or perennial beds. Looks like I need to get this guy started inside, like soon, soon, soon. And then we have the Madam Butterfly. So this is, it says it's a hybrid snapdragon. And I believe that this is a more fluffier petaled snapdragon. It is an annual. I have a ton of snapdragons. I absolutely adore snapdragons. So when I saw this one on the website, I had to get it. It is cut flower, edible flower, and it is beautiful. And then we've got the Spencer Ripple Formula Mix. This is a sweet pea. Oh, yes. I was really excited about the sweet peas because my sister gave me some sweet peas, which I'm pretty sure I saved some seeds from, but we'll have to look through and see. But some more sweet peas. All parts of the plant are poisonous. So we've got a couple of our pretty plants are poisonous. Can be used as a cut flower, backup border, fences, trellises, arbors, and use in cottage gardens. So this is a vining sweet pea. And then we've got Carmathus, the Zanzibar. This is an annual. And it's excellent for cut or dried flowers. And I honestly don't remember what this one looks like, but I'm sure it's beautiful because I wouldn't have purchased it otherwise. And then we've got two of these guys. They're both Lisianthus. One is the Roseanne Black Pearl, which from the name I would think is either a dark purple or black Lisianthus. And then the Corielli Sugoi. And it is the third white F1. So these are both pelleted. I personally have never grown any seeds that are pelleted. But what I do know is that when you purchase pelleted seeds for the season, you have to use them within the season because they have a clay coating. I'll go ahead and open this. They have clay coatings, and the clay coating actually can break down or will break down the seed themselves. So because the seeds were so tiny, which I don't know if you guys can, you see how tiny those guys are? My cat is snoring so loud. So they coated them with clay because the seeds themselves are so tiny. So both of them have a nice little clay coating on them. So I will be planting every single one of these seeds. They were super kind, Johnny's was, to include this beautiful, very detailed Lisianthus production, which I know that Lisianthus I think can be a little finicky when growing. So I'm gonna make sure that I go through this and really give myself the best chances of growing this flower because it is so pretty. So they give lots of tips and tricks on transplanting, harvesting, understanding what's happening with your seedlings, as well as when to go ahead and plant them for what type of harvest or what time of harvest you want them. Yeah. Pelleting. Because Lisianthus seed is extremely tiny, all Lisianthus seed is pelleted to improve ease and accuracy when sowing. Pelleting shortens the shelf life of the seed. We recommend using pelleted seed within 1 year of purchase. Pelleted Lisianthus seeds offered are not NOP compliant. Not sure what that means, but that is okay. All right, guys, so that is the seed haul. Well, there you have it, friends. That is this year's 2025's seed haul. A lot of my seeds, for the most part, are cut flowers, just because got some things working in the background, as well as just wanting to get some more experience in growing cut flowers, simply for my own enjoyment, as well as being able to gift those to others. And then, of course, we've got onions, tomatoes, the good, hearty things that we all love in our gardens. So if you guys enjoyed this garden, please consider giving it a thumbs up, as well as consider subscribing to the channel. I do a lot of things involving homesteading, whether that is organizing things in my home, big kitchen cook days, or just being out in the garden, puttering around and enjoying the beauty that I've planted with my own two hands. I'll go ahead and post a video up here for you guys to enjoy until my next upload. But until then, thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next one.